Okay, so this is kind of a good angle. It's the best angle I'm gonna get. I don't have a tripod, but this is pretty much it. Um, so today is kind of a big day. Um, it's my 30th birthday. I was born on November 9th, 1995. It's now November 9th, 2025. And man, dude, like this crazy. It's in my head. I've kind of already been 30 for like a few months at least, like probably closer to 6 months. But like today, I just woke up and it's weird. It's different. It feels surreal. I feel like a bit shocked. I'm like, whoa, like I'm actually now 30. Like I'm 30, which is weird because like a lot of people, even myself, when I was in my early 20s, and then definitely my mid 20s, 30 was this big scary number to me. I was like, whoa, like it's a big milestone. I mean, I didn't think it was old because you realize that it's not old when you're in like your early to mid 20s. You're like, yeah, it's not that old actually. But it's definitely a milestone. It's not nothing. It's not just another 20 something. It's a big deal, 30 for sure. And yeah, I guess I always feared it for most of my life, because it took me a long time to get to this place that I'm in now, which is a really good place. And now it feels more like an accomplishment because I have sort of all the things that you're supposed to have by age 30. You know, I have a wife, fiance technically, and two beautiful, amazing kids. They're 3 and like 2 months old. And like I have a great career that's promising, good job, and I don't have a house yet. That's kind of the one thing that I'm missing, but I could buy a house. I just don't know that it's the right time to buy, and like I don't know if this is the area I want to buy in. But I could buy a house, so like I basically count that as that criteria of what you're supposed to have done by age 30. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like my 20s were rough. Like I went through a lot of stuff in your 20s. I mean, I think 20s is super formative for anybody. But I had a hard time with it. Like I lost both my mom and my brother, who were the two closest people to me. That was my family. That was my main family. And now I woke up today. My brother died on Halloween 3 years ago. So I've lived almost exactly 1/10 of my life now without my brother, and that's scary. That's crazy and tragic and sad, to think that I've now lived 10% of my life without my best friend, my day one guy who was always there, and also 5 years without my mom. Like that's 1/6 of my life without my mom. And like that was tragic, man. Like going through that in my mid 20s, losing both of them within 2 years of each other was not good. That was not fun. Like I mean, my mom was a lot easier because like your parents are supposed to die before you, and I got to say goodbye and be with her. But my brother, the way I lost him was just terrible and traumatic. And like when I got that call, I fell out of the bed and screamed for 7 minutes, and the neighbors thought somebody was being murdered, and like they called the cops. And then like as we were leaving to go to my dad's house at like 4 a.m. so that I could tell my dad that like we had just lost my brother, the police were there. And I had to like tell them, still completely in shock, like, no, like that was me. No one's dead. I just lost my brother. And so what you heard was me reacting to that live. And so then they were like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay. And then they just left. But that's what happened on Halloween 2022. But anyways, like, yeah, now here I am just a few years later in arguably the best spot I've ever been in my life. Like, my daughter was born 5 weeks after my brother died. That was crazy too. Like, he just barely missed her. That was like a really bad hit too. That sucked. But then I became a dad, and I was still in school. I was still getting my degree. So like, I was like this new dad with no real job prospects, still in college, like kind of didn't know what I was doing. I just lost my brother, like, and I was just turned 27. Like, that was my life 3 years ago. That was really hard. Like, that was not easy or fun. Like, and your 20s are kind of supposed to be fun, I guess. At least that's what I always thought. It's also supposed to be productive, informative, you know, like, you're supposed to do a lot of work on yourself. And I of course I did, like most people do or should. But yeah, I mean, 27, man, that was a big change for me, like, that year. And so here we are at 30, and things have kind of calmed down, leveled out. I was one of the few people who managed to get a really good job in my degree, like using my degree in this terrible job market that's happening right now. And like, I have a great job now, like, promising career. I love it, which is rare. That's rare these days, to like get a job right out of college. And I don't know, it's just a lot harder to do that these days. You know, even though I have a good job, I'm aware of how bad the job market is for everybody else, just because I'm plugged in too much. I'm a little bit chronically online, less so now that I have kids, but still a little bit. Like, old habits can die hard. But yeah, I don't know. This video was kind of just to recap my 20s and talk a bit about where I am. This is sort of the video that I hope my kids might watch one day. But it's also, you know, just a statement that I wanted to make, I guess. Yeah, looking back, my 20s were hard. Just a lot of stuff happened. I think most people don't have to go through as many trials as I had to go through before they hit 30. But maybe I just live in a bubble, or the people I know have better lives than me, easier lives than me. I don't know. Yeah, but that's where I'm at right now. Like, I'm grateful. Like, despite everything that's happened, I'm super grateful that I am where I am. And like, really, those terrible things that happened, I mean, of course I still wish I had my brother and my mom, but like, I don't know, losing them, I had to level up. I had to get stronger, you know, like, I had, especially with a kid, like, I really had to like step up to the plate and man up and stop making excuses, because, you know, my life wasn't the most important thing anymore. Like, I grew up. I had to grow up a lot when my daughter was born. You know, like, my whole way through school, I was always like, oh man, I want to quit school. Why am I even doing this? Is this degree even going to do anything? And like, I kind of do still think that my degree was a little bit useless, but it kind of just became not really a question of if I was going to get it after my daughter was born anymore. And because I was just like, no, like, I dedicated to this. I got to do this. I got to try to finish college and get a good job. so that I could try to provide for my family. And like, it worked out for me, luckily. A lot of recent grads have not have had nearly as much luck as me, so I'm super grateful for that. But yeah, I think there's this common trope of, when people get to 30, they freak out. They're like, oh my God, like, what am I doing with my life? I haven't done anything. Like, and I think it's either one of two ways. Like, if you followed the path that you were supposed to take, and like you went to college right out of high school, 18, and then you graduate 22, 23 years old, and then you start working, you get a job. If you do that, maybe you had a little bit of fun in college or whatever, but like, if you do that and then you just go straight to work, you've just been working for like the past 7 to 8 years, and you hit 30, you're like, dude, what is this? Is this all life is? Like, what am I doing? Like, is there anything more to this, or is it just work? Like, is it just work? And then on the other side, there's people who didn't go to college, they didn't do anything, and maybe they had a lot of fun. Maybe they like went to Thailand or something, or like they traveled the world. They had a van that they drove across the country in and like camped and stuff. And like, but they never really made time to go to school or develop any marketable skills, and they don't have a career, and they're kind of struggling, or they're in like a bit of a dead end job or something. And it's like, man, what am I doing with my life? Like, I'm 30 now, I'm starting to feel like the pressure, and it's like, oh, I'm kind of a loser. Like, by this age, you're supposed to have like all this money, or like at least a start in something like a career or whatnot. And I don't have any of that. Like, I had a lot of fun. I have all these great experiences that I had in my 20s, but I'm kind of going nowhere in life. And like, people usually fall into one of those camps. And I know a lot on both ends of the spectrum, but I somehow managed to escape both of those things by 30. Like, I messed around a lot in my early 20s. I was just a total knucklehead idiot. Like, I got my helicopter pilot's license when I was 21, but I didn't do anything with it. That was going to be my career path, but then I was like, maybe this isn't for me. I should do something else. I still miss flying helicopters, but it was just, I realized it was too expensive and that it was going to take a long time to have an actual profitable career. I would have all this debt, so I didn't want to do that. I thought maybe going into tech was better, and so like that's the path that I chose, and luckily it paid off for me. But aside from that, like, it's, like, I just messed around a lot, but I had a lot of fun. Like, I lived my life. I had a lot of cool experiences. I traveled a lot. I've been to a bunch of countries. I was always dating somebody. I never had like some sort of dry spell. I always had good friends. I was pretty active for the most part until like COVID hit, I guess. And, definitely got to work on getting more active in my 30s. This next decade of life, I really got to get back in shape. But that's something I've been struggling with. I'm still struggling with now. That is one thing that I still need to work on. But basically, my point is, I had a ton of fun in my early to mid 20s. And then like in my late 20s, I kind of just pulled it together all at once. And even despite like the tragic things that I had to go through, and like now here I am at 30, and I feel like it's an accomplishment, and I've met all the milestones you're supposed to reach, and I have everything that you're supposed to have when you hit 30. And so like, like I got a little bit lucky, but there's a lot of hard work too. Yeah, so it's just an interesting feeling. And so I think despite anything that goes on in somebody's life, when you hit 30, the big question that you are probably thinking, like, no matter where you are, is kind of just like, what's next? Like, that was my 20s, and what's my 30s gonna be like? And like my older brother didn't hit 30. He was 29 when he died. And like I've thought about that a lot this past year too, being 29. I was like, man, like if I died right now, like I'd be the same age as my brother. Like I'd never technically be older than him, but now I'm technically older than my brother was when he died. And like that's wild to me. That's crazy. Like he was 29 and like now I'm 30. He never made it to 30. We'll see if I can make it to 40. I hope so. But like what's next for me is like I've kind of figured out my plan. Like if I keep doing exactly what I'm doing right now, I stay at this job, if I don't get any raises, but then also I guess if some more traumatic things don't happen, if I don't like get a divorce or like pay child support, if I don't buy a house, and if the stock market doesn't completely explode, then I should pretty much be on track to be a millionaire by age 40 or shortly after, maybe 41, maybe 42, but maybe 39, maybe 38. But yeah, so like that's kind of my track, is just keep doing what I'm doing, and then future Brandon will have a good problem to solve, which will be the problem of what's next for Brandon on his 39th birthday or his 40th birthday. And maybe that looks like early retirement, starting my own company, starting a game studio, just taking some time off work. I don't know what that looks like, but if I'm able to keep doing what I'm doing right now, I'll be in a pretty good spot. And yeah, I mean, I like my life right now. Like I get to watch my kids grow up. Like that's amazing. I love my children. Like I love my fiance. It's just, it's a good situation to be in. So I'm very blessed and grateful. And practicing gratitude is huge. That was a big lesson of my 20s that I had to learn, was forced to learn, is that be grateful for what you got while you got it, because you might not always have it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm in a pretty good spot this past weekend. Like I went glamping with all my closest friends. Yesterday we did this pretty epic hike down, then laid in some natural hot springs. We went on a little side adventure to go cliff jumping, and then went back to the hot springs. Then we did the big hike back up, and then I made burgers and hot dogs for everybody, and we just sat around the fire drinking and like laughing and I don't know, playing games, shooting the shit. It was great. That's how I spent my birthday weekend. It was awesome. I have amazing friends, great family, like good career. I mean, so it's a good spot that I'm in right now. My biggest concern is that I don't want things to get worse again, because things I've had some really, really, really dark moments, really dark places, especially like before and after losing my mom and my brother, and like a ton of self-doubt that I had to overcome. Or like when I was 22 years old, I had the math education, like my math level was that of an 8th grader. I didn't take math in high school. Like I basically stopped taking math classes in middle school. Like I dropped out of high school my senior year. And I had just avoided math as much as I possibly could until that point too. And like I ended up getting some like kind of garbage, like pity participation high school diploma. I don't even know if that was legal, but and then I guess like I was like 23, 24, I started going to community college to get this degree that I have. And that took me like way longer than it should have. Like what, 6 years? Like 5 years? At least 6 years. It was at least 6 years. And really, it was like 8 years, because I was 28 when I graduated, or 10 years, like, because I kind of started going to school when I was 18, but like it took me 10 years to get my bachelor's degree, and I dropped out of high school. But like, here, it's to say that, like, you can make it happen still. You can make it happen in your late 20s. So if you're like mid 20s, early 20s, even late 20s, and you think like, oh my God, it's over for me, like, I messed around too much, I messed up, I threw my life away, like, there's no hope for me left, like, oh, like, I should just give up, or I need to just accept that, like, my life is the way that it is. No, that's absolutely, completely wrong. There's still time. Like, you can change your life in just a few years into something amazing. Like, you have to just be relentless. Like, I think that's my favorite word that I use to describe myself, is relentless. I just don't give up. Like, when I was looking for the job, and I knew it was my first job, and I knew it was a terrible, terrible job market right out of college, a couple years ago. I must have applied to like 1,500 jobs or more, maybe 2,000, like, and just constant rejections. And then like the few interviews I did get, like, they didn't go super well, or like I'll get knocked out for like kind of bullshit reasons, or I just kept applying, kept interviewing, kept giving it my all, and I landed a good job, and then I got this job, and I was able to move back to California. And so, but yeah, like, you gotta be relentless. I was relentless with it. Like, there were so many times where I wanted to give up school. I wanted to quit school because I thought that it was just taking me too long. And like, was the degree even going to be worth it? And like, was there even going to be jobs? And like, arguably, like, I had reason to believe that no, it wasn't worth it. There wasn't going to be jobs, because there kind of wasn't. Like, but I managed to get one anyway. And a lot of that sure, some of it was definitely luck, but a lot of it was just being fucking relentless and not giving up. Just saying, I got to get this job. I got kids to feed. I got a family to support. Like, I want this career for myself. Like, I really love this. Like, I really want to do this. I want to be this game developer. Like, I want to be this VR developer guy. Like, and so I made it happen. But yeah, a lot of lessons learned in my 20s. So I don't know what's going to happen in my 30s. Part of me is scared, but part of me, like, is hopeful and optimistic for the first time in a long time, that like, maybe I kind of got this a little bit figured out. Maybe I can build a good life for myself and my family and my kids, and have a good time doing it. Like, that's really kind of my plan at this point. I'm not rich, but I'm definitely not poor. And yeah, like, I have goals and aspirations. Like, I have passions. But I'm in a good spot right now, and I'm grateful for where I'm at. And yeah, I think about my mom, my brother every day. I miss them so much. My biggest regret in life so far is really just that neither of them got to meet my kids. That is heartbreaking. That's something that I'll never really recover from. Like, that's just tragic. Like, my mom would have been so happy to have met Cindy and like now Malcolm, and like that. Like, that's another thing. Like, I named my daughter after my mom and my son after my brother, like, because I just miss them so much. And like, they didn't get to meet my kids. Like, my kids are growing up without a grandma from my side and their uncle, who were, these two people were like, they made me who I am. Like, Like, my brother was my best friend. He was my hero. He was my mentor. Like, I learned to surf because of him. Like, I learned to like box and stuff. Like, I would ride motorcycles. He was such a good, amazing, positive influence on me in like a hard way. Like, he taught me how to be a man. And my mom, it might be more of a nature thing, but like, she just taught me how to be soft and to love and to forgive. So, my wife, my fiance, and my kids benefit from a lot of the things that my mom passed on to me. Like, a lot of my qualities that I got from my mom are the qualities that are really, really useful for being a dad and a partner. And I mean, having her here just would have been so easier to raise these kids, man. She would have loved being a grandma. But yeah, so I miss them. Like that, but that's my main regret, really, from my 20s. I'm like, it's kind of out of my control. I mean, I have some like money regrets. I wish I had invested sooner. I kind of wish I'd taken things a little bit more serious sooner, but I also wish I had stopped sitting on my phone or playing video games. I would have had a little bit more fun too. I wish I had like hiked the Pacific Crest Trail or surfed a little more, or gone to a couple more countries, so. But there's time for that in the future too. Maybe I'll get to do that with my kids one day. Maybe I'll get to take them on surf trips, and I will. Like, I'm gonna make sure of it. But yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much everything I wanted to say. Very optimistic right now. Very happy. Very grateful for where I'm at. And like, just have a beautiful, loving family. And I mean, what more could a man want? Like, I got this crazy hair. Probably don't seem like a really professional guy. I definitely need to get a haircut. But yeah, I mean, I could turn that professionalism on in a second when I need to. That's how I am at work. Yeah. If you're watching this and you're one of my kids, I love you. I say that in a lot of my videos now that I leave for my kids. I always want to say it. If you're like 15, 16, I love you. You're my everything. And if you're just somebody who somehow stumbled across this, or you're like one of my friends, or somebody who just knows me, and I might post this on my Instagram. But if you're still here watching this video, and you feel a little bit lost or something, there's still hope for you. Even if you're a little older than me, even if you're in your early mid-30s, you can still make it happen. If you're in your 20s, you could definitely make it happen. But I think you could still do it in your 30s too, maybe even your 40s. But yeah, it's getting a little dark now. I'm gonna head in. But this is 30. Thanks, baby. I love that. Okay, I can blow them out. Gotta think of a good wish. Thought of a good one.
Okay, we can eat it now. Let you open it.
Okay, I saw you drew a picture on it. Thank you. I love it.